back again with another video. If you haven't already, hit that red button and subscribe. I post about twice a week on things that can really make you think about life and how you go about it. And my videos really touch on your psychology, the spiritual side of yourself, and as well as self-improvement things you can do to add more fulfillment to your life. Because if you look at the world today, honestly, people are just walking on autopilot. Zombies just walking on autopilot. A lot of things people do are very unconscious, and you know, when you live a really unconscious life, you start to not understand why things are happening. You know, you're blind, and you're just so asleep. You know, I hate the term woke, but you're not woke. So in this video, what I want to talk about is when you conquer the mind, you conquer the world. It's almost like a theory as if the mind is the world. But what I mean by that is everything you perceive, material or non-material. So for example, material as in you see your phone, you see your hand, you see your car, you see that girl down the street, you see your best friend, you see your moms. These are material things that you can physically touch and whatnot. You know, experience it. You can experience all these things with the five senses. Immaterial, of course, would be things that you can't experience with all of the senses. Things like emotions are not material, but they do exist. Now, these things all get processed, you know, through the brain. It's all in the mind and the brain that processes all these things. Everything you see, you can't see anything without the brain. The brain is that central mechanism that's always in the center of things. Whether you're you think you know, no matter what you're doing, it's always in operation, going. Now, of course, this is great, you know, because, you know, you go to Chipotle, you eat something, you're not consciously like, okay, time to digest, let me chew, okay, you chew, right? And then, you know, okay, let me swallow, okay, goes down the esophagus, all right, let me, you know, start breaking this down with my stomach acid, and then, like, you don't do any of that, right? You know, you're probably like in the movies or something, or watching some show, or you're exercising, and then like these processes are happening in the background. Cool. So the brain is important for that. But what happens is a lot of times thoughts pop up and negative beliefs pop up, and there's this constant thinking and this constant monkey mind that goes on. You know, monkey mind's a term really used for the brain. You know, it's constantly thinking thoughts, things about the past, things about the future, and a lot of it is more negative. They've done studies that most of our thoughts are negative thoughts. So this is an unconquered mind when it's always running on autopilot. It's finding excuses, it's finding reasons why things can't happen. And when this happens, it feels as though the mind or the brain is your master. And it also feels as if you are the brain, like this is you and it's not a part of you. Now, if you can start to make the distinction that your mind or your brain is here to serve you, that's huge, because you start taking more ownership of what you can do about all of these thoughts that come up and all that. It's your servant. Now, I made a video called Your Subconscious Mind is Your Servant. You guys check it out. Absolutely key. But this video, I'm taking a step further, is saying the whole brain in and of itself is your servant. It's not only here to regulate, you know, those tangible physical processes that happen in your body and your sensations and things like that, but it's here to manifest whatever you want in your life, and also it's here to give you a really optimal life. In that it shouldn't be something that's constantly hindering you throughout the day. It shouldn't be something that's constantly telling to you, hey, you can't do that, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. This is working against you, and you become this thing that's on your team, or as a, you know, kind of your servant. It's like a going against you, and it's like this internal battle. You're here living a human experience, so everything that you come across and everything that you do, you have to kind of come in from a mind frame that whatever I'm doing in life, I'm my number one fan, and everything in my team, my tribe should be contributing to me. And by tribe, I don't just mean other people like your best friends, your family members. Yeah, they love you, that's great. But those things you may not think are part of your team. You just think it's you, like your brain or your body. You want to have a great body that's physically healthy and things like that. And you know, that can give you that energy, like you have energy, you know, and all that. You know, you eat the right foods, feed the body correctly, and feed the mind correctly, having the right thought processes. And then when you do this, this whole human experience becomes better, because guess what? The negativity is not internal. There's very little negativity internally, and when there is, it can be reframed, or you understand where it's coming from. And of course, this is awareness. And then when there's negativity from the outside world, because there will be negativity from the outside world, right? I'm making this video, I guess someone's saying, interesting topics, but I don't like this video. Okay, cool. Opinion, boom, put it into perspective. That is an opinion from somebody else with different experiences than I. Maybe they haven't, you know, maybe they haven't done the same amount of self-improvement work as me, so they have a certain perspective about what I'm saying. Boom, put it into perspective. And that's because that starts from the brain, right? It's an automatic thing that I can put into perspective. Now, going back to the brain is separate from you. You are not the brain, you are not the body. This is a huge thing that has to be understood. You are not the brain, you are not the body. These are parts of you. I mean, you're in your body, and your brain is doing a lot of things. But to you know, a lot of people may say, okay, if you're not that, or you're not your brain, or you're not your body, then what are you? Well, this really comes down to something you kind of have to do. You kind of have to look inward for, because I mean, a lot of people call it the soul. A lot of people say you have a soul. Now, do I agree with this theory? I do, but I'm not sure if it's really an immortal soul. Immortal soul being, you know, you die and then your soul goes somewhere else, things like that. Sort of like a reincarnation. Hinduism, this is spoken a lot in Hindu traditions. But you're more of an internal soul that's in a human body. I totally agree with that. Because you always have that inner urge, that inner intuition that nudges you to do something. And this just goes to show you that your brain can be thinking your brain can be thinking something, but some people may say, you know, the soul or the heart is thinking something else. It's like something else pulling you in this direction, and that's your internal voice, or your soul, or that internal you. So your brain, it's something, your brain or your mind, once you conquer it, it's a servant that can help you make life go more smoothly. You enjoy the human experience, and all of this negativity and anxieties, things of the past. Now, how do you go about training the brain or the mind, right? This, of course, comes down to, oh man, this, you guys got to check out this audiobook. It's called The Human Machine by Arnold Bennett. I'm going to leave a link to the audiobook in the description. It's on YouTube, easy, just click it. Definitely check it out. But in this book, he talks about how one of the great ways to conquer your mind, your brain, is through concentration, concentrated effort. And now you may be saying, okay, Jeremy, you're going to give us the meditation spiel again. Yeah, meditation is one of it, but not just that. Anything that is really purposeful in your life that you enjoy doing, when you do it a lot, you start getting this focused flow state when you're doing it. And when you're doing it, you're focused in that one thing, and that brings that concentration. And since you enjoy doing it so much, you're not thinking about anything else. And then when you're not doing it anymore, since you enjoy doing it so much, that's what you like to think about. So think about that. You're thinking about the thing you enjoy doing, and when you're not doing it, instead of, oh, I should have done this in the past, I should have did that in the past. So focus, concentration, and it can be meditation, which you should be doing. I mean, start off with guided. I highly recommend it. It changed my life. And maybe it's not for everybody, but you have other practices too. You have journaling, of course. Journaling is a great way of really putting your thoughts into perspective and having your core beliefs come out and things of that nature. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. To summarize, the mind is here to serve you, and it's not you, it's part of you. So it's a tool in your toolkit given to you by nature, and nature has gifted you with this mind, and you have to go throughout your human experience, you have to go about training it, because it'll get distracted, it'll forget things. You want to learn how to play the violin, and then some days it's going to be lazy. It has these mechanisms to kind of bring you back to a sense of comfort, right? A sense of comfort. But to train it, you have to be disciplined and have a certain degree of focus and concentration in a task. You're doing something that's really laid back, like meditation, or something that's like a purpose, like something you enjoy doing, whether you're being paid for it or not. So, yes, a huge insight to take in and understand. There's this inner being in you that's bringing out that inner voice and that intuition all the time. It's like, what is that? I'd say that thing is closer to you than anything the brain can possibly be. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one.